Hello everyone, welcome to the Watch Tailor, a channel where I take watches such as this one and give them a little tweak and bring them in line with what I think would look better. Now keep in mind this is just my personal preference. This is, could be different to your opinion, and you can, voice that down in the comment section if you think I've messed it up. But that's what this hobby's all about. It's all about, what we like, what we don't like, and I'm just going to change this up and make it look a little bit better, in my opinion. You can disagree down in the comments if you want. So what we're doing is we're going to do a side by side. So this is the one we're editing. That's going to be the original. So first thing I want to do is I really want to change the look of this, the accents, around the bezel, the indices and the hands. I just think the colour is, it's not the nicest looking colour. Now, I was sort of tempted to do this, basically, and, take the yellow and just completely get rid of it. Now, that does look really clean, but I just think it's a little bit too clinical. So, we're going to, do that, and we're actually going to do something a little bit different, and we're going to make it look a little bit more sort of like a faux patina look. Now, I know this is not the most popular, but, yeah, each to their own and all that. So you can see now we've got this like really nice faux patina look. Again, this is just a personal preference. We are actually going to turn the brightness down on this some though, because it's just a little bit too much. So now what I'm going to do is show you the original, and then of course the edited one, and you can just see it's different. It's just give it a sort of a different, more warmer and more vintage look. But you can also see that the red is a little bit messed up. So we're just going to we're just going to tweak that a little bit. We're going to sort of add a bit of blue, take a bit of the red out of it, and we're going to take that out. That's not really done a deal. And we just want to bring it back. There we go. So you can see now we've got the red back to just about where it was. So you can see now we've got this more sort of vintage, warmer look, and I think it looks pretty cool. So the next thing I'm going to do is actually, I'm going to replace the date window. You guys will, come to understand that I really do not like date windows. So what I'm going to do is, because my PC and this software is just being a monumental douchebag at the minute, I'm going to have to do this a really sloppy way. Now, usually I'd copy this element and, edit it over there. But for whatever reason, my PC just doesn't want to play today. So what I'm going to have to do is just do this and then remove all the rest of the watch. So I'm just left with the indice, which is not the right way to do it at all. This is just, it's a really poor, way of doing things. And it looks really sloppy and messy, as you can tell. So let's just, get rid of all the elements that we, we don't need. So basically, just erasing everything apart from the section that we want. So you can see just this little window up here where we've got a white left. And obviously we don't want any white on the image whatsoever. So now we should technically have an indice, which we do. So now we can move that, and you can see we've got a perfect copy of that. Now of course we want to place this here, and of course it looks terrible because we have all this excess, but we can fix that quite easily. So we get the eraser tool. Obviously we don't want it to be that big, we want it to be nice and neat. So then we just basically take it to this and get rid of all of this excess stuff that we don't need from the copy. Now again, there are better ways to doing this. I am not a editing professional by any stretch of the imagination. So yeah, this is just for fun, basically. So now you can see we've cleaned up that. We've got a bit of a border there, so we can leave that. Now we just want to move it a little bit more in line. So we've got a little bit of a space, so we're just going to drag this just to about there. And you can see we've got a little bit of like excess here, which we don't need, a bit of excess there, and then we've got this black border there. So that's just clean that up a bit. But now you can see we've got this border around here, and we really don't want that at all. So we get our clone tool out, grab a piece of the dial, and then we just basically magic it away. And we'll just see what it looks like after. I mean, I know already that it looks a lot better. But again, guys, this is just personal preference. You can think of, but already That to me looks a lot nicer. So you can see we've got symmetry. It does want bringing in a little bit more though, the indice, because it's a little bit far out. But if I just drag it ever so slightly more inwards, there we go. So that's better. Now the next thing I want to address, and I think a lot of people do have an issue with this on Tudors and Rolexes especially, is all the text. It's just ridiculous. There is so much text on this watch, and I just think it clutters it too much. So what we're going to do is get rid of the pointless information, which are these two right here. I don't think we need to see all this rotor self-winding. I mean, come on. I mean, no hate to them, but I mean that is just not a necessity to put on a dial, in my opinion. I mean, you know, if you know your watches, you know it's an automatic, you know it's got a rotor in it. You don't need to advertise that it's got a self-winding rotor, because just about every automatic does that. So yeah, I know I'm ranting a bit, but you know, it's just always one of those things that's bothered me about these Rolexes and Tudors, that just put like an essay on their entire watch, and it's like, we don't need all this text. It just looks horrible. And it really does sort of, you know, clutter the dial. And you'll probably come to understand, you know, the more I do this, that I like more, you know, minimalist, less clutter. So yeah, I mean, obviously this is not a professional job by any stretch of the imagination, guys. You know, again, I'm just a hobbyist. I just do this for, you know, for fun. And, you know, if you're into photo editing and stuff like that as well, then, you know, you can do your own interpretations of these things. This is just my vision of what I think this should look like. So again, you know, not professional at all. So already we've got rid of that text, and we're also going to get rid of this one. So I'm just going to fast forward this bit, because obviously, you know, it's just the same process. Right guys, so we have got rid of that. And immediately, I mean, you can see the before and after. I mean, I think that looks better, but obviously we can't have a massive gap here. So what I'm going to have to do is somehow get this text to sit underneath here. Right guys, so there you have it. It's not the cleanest or the neatest, but there we go. So it says now 500 meter, 1640 feet. Of course, you know, it would look better if it was actually done like that. I've just had to basically copy it off a really terrible copy, and yeah, it's just got a bit more balance as well. We've got 3 there, 3 there. I just think it looks so much nicer. I am also tempted to do one thing, and another little thing that sort of bugs me about this. The hands. Now, I really do like the hands. I just think there's not enough contrast. So if you get what I mean, it's, you know, the faux patina and the faux patina, but it's the same on the original as well. There's not much contrast. So what I'm tempted to try is to put a, you know, like a black from the watch around the perimeter. So I'm going to give that a try and see what that looks like. Right guys, so we have them both side by side now in a final reveal. What do you think? Do you think I've made it worse, or do you think it looks better? So here it is without, you know, the accents. I don't know, I'm kind of torn. So there it is with the accents. You can see it just sort of slims everything down a little bit. I think they probably could do with maybe being a little bit sort of darker, perhaps, so they just sort of stand out against the dial a little bit more. Oh, that's better. So now they just sort of, you know, pop a little bit more. But anyway, what do you guys think? Do you think it's better, or do you think it's worse? Yeah, I definitely don't like them. Anyway guys, so that is it. That is just my interpretation of the Tudor Pelagos left-hand drive. Do you think I've made it better, or do you think I've made it worse? I think what I just want to do finally before I disappear is just see what it looks like, you know, without the faux patina. So what I'm going to do is just get rid of this, and that's what it looks like without the faux patina. So it's white instead of that. So anyway guys, so that is it. Just a you know, bit of fun for today. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.